Clear takeoff runway 27, Virgin 847 Papa.
This is Heathrow, Britain's busiest airport, returning to the skies after taking a pounding from the pandemic.
That's the kind of shot we want to see coming back to Heathrow, full of aeroplanes.
Now,
this is the file I've had for travelling.
In normal days, I used to fly through.
That's just a joke.
frustrated passengers are on the increase.
Not social distancing. Can't you do something about it?
The heat makes people quite angry.
But Heathrow never gives up. With its long-suffering staff battling to give passengers hope every day.
It won't be long, guys. I'm just going to get the motor room, OK?
Did you see that?
Are you OK in there?
Taking pride over every arrival and departure. Dealing with the suspicious.
You couldn't take another flight, let's put it that way.
The luxurious.
And how much would you like to put on the card? 9,000?
And the ostentatious. Heathrow's existence hangs in the balance. But this is still Britain's busiest airport.
I think we're going to start picking up soon.
It's 4:30 a.m, which is the average start time for those on the morning shift at Heathrow, like passenger service manager Demi.
Hello, hello. How you doing, everyone?
Demi is clocking on, and before his first brew of the day, there's a new ritual.
Come for my tests.
A COVID test.
We have a colleague testing centre. Any of the staff can come in, keep themselves safe, everyone else safe.
So you do 5 cycles each nostril.
Shouldn't take too long. I think they only put it up the nose now. I think they don't stuff it down your neck now, so it's a lot more pleasant.
Oh, not what I'd call pleasant, but each to their own.
Hopefully you should receive your results within 20 minutes to half an hour.
Lovely, thanks, mate.
All right, thank you very much,
lovely.
sir. Have
Thank
a good
you.
day.
Cheers, you too. My eyes watering.
While staff can test at the airport at any time of the day, passenger testing for foreign travel is much stricter. And the changing entry requirements around the world are enough to make your eyes water, even before anyone's been near you with a swab.
Take a moment.
So those brave enough to travel during these testing times need to make sure they swat up on the rules and regs before arriving at the airport.
I wouldn't like to even hazard a guess at what test types you need. If you go on the government website of the Channel Islands, it will have destination-specific advice.
Joel is the senior site manager for Express Test, Heathrow's in-house testing centres.
Yeah, it's difficult. You think you've kind of understood the green list and what is needed for what country, but it changes again. And to be honest, there's, so many different countries, so many different rules. I need him to know whether he needs a PCR or a lateral flow to get into Holland. Can you explain that in Bulgarian for me? Yeah. It's almost an impossible task. The onus has to be on the customer to kind of understand their individual circumstance and make sure that what they're doing is correct.
7 hours, yeah, that's what I want.
Express Test offers a smorgasbord of test types. Standard PCR and antigens, certifiable fit-to-fly tests, and arrival packages for green and amber countries.
I need your help, please.
OK, no probs. There's a customer kicking off down there, so... I'll go round.
Yeah.
OK.
Do you know what the situation is?
No.
But with the new international entry system taking just 16 months to cobble together, it's inevitable that some passengers may make mistakes. And Joel is the friendly face on the front line when confusion reigns supreme.
Hello.
Now we have a problem.
Do you want to have a chat? See if we can solve it?
I'm being told that the test that I purchased is not valid.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that something in the legislation changed in between the time that I purchased the test and now. And Express Test did not update me.
These passengers have arrived from Tel Aviv in Israel.
OK, so it's an arrivals test, is that right?
Yeah, I purchased it 3 times
Yeah.
for the 3 of us.
OK, let me just have a look at that.
I'm not going to throw this test and just waste my money.
No, of course. So there you go. We've got test only, we've got fit to fly, and we've got arrivals test. And you've booked a test only.
I went through the prompts on the website and I picked a test that was offered to me.
Okay.
Coming from a green country.
Why does it matter if it's the same test? We just need a PCR test.
Everyone entering the UK, even from a green country, must complete a day 2 arrivals PCR test. The results of the test are linked to information provided on the passenger locator form, which is there to track and trace potential new COVID variants. The test this passenger has bought is a standard test only, and while it is the same physical PCR test, the recorded results won't be linked with her journey from Israel.
So essentially what's happened is you've booked the wrong test, unfortunately. So the two options you've got are, we can do the test that you've booked. It just means that our side of it won't update the right pathways, or you can apply for a refund and take the new test out. That's what you can do.
Why are you not just doing the test? It's the same
I'm
test.
trying to.
It's the same test. Go through your
I'm trying to find the solution.
That's the solution. Do the test.
It's not Joel's responsibility to enforce a correct test on someone, but having the wrong test could bring with it fines of £1,000 per person should the Home Office drop in on you. And as this passenger has incorrect tests for her companions too, it could add up to a hefty sum.
You know what? Let's just do this test.
Yeah?
Let's do the
Yeah.
test.
If you are stopped by anyone for any reason, you've still got the result, but it may not meet legislation.
So let's do that.
Yeah. You know, I said to the customer that there's laws that you have to obviously adhere to, and she's going to take the risk and just have this test, but yeah.
This whole experience is just excuse my French, though. I come from a country who's just finished with the pandemic and we're waiting for the rest of the world to catch up. And where I'm from, the COVID tests are extremely cheap. So the solution is I'm going to take my test that I paid for, and I'm taking the risk. So if I get stopped, I'm...
Put your head all the way up. Perfect.
COVID has ruined the fun of going through an airport and getting on a plane.
There's some tissue on the side if you need it.
It's a stressful environment, but it's kind of why I like it.
Flying has been a dream of mankind since the ancient Greeks first gave Icarus a set of wax wings. But it was 1903 when man finally recorded his first flight up alongside the soaring birds. And just 2 years later, in 1905, when he first recorded flying into one. Since then, bird strike has been an ever-present, ever-evolving threat to aviation, and it's estimated to cost the industry over £1.5 billion in damages worldwide every year. One of the most effective methods for reducing the risk of bird strike is bird management.
Use that siren number, it just gives them a different sound.
And on the airfield, this job falls to a man steeped in Heathrow mythology himself, Airside Ian, of the Airside Safety Department.
So there's those starlings there, so I had a report earlier on from one of the aircraft, so just to keep an eye on that.
If there's as much as a talon touching down on Ian's 3,000-acre turf, he's gonna know about it.
An airfield should be a hostile environment for birds. Do you think a bird can go through to the engine can stall on takeoff? It can actually end up crashing, and obviously it can end up with loss of life, so we try and make it as bird-free as possible.
With so few planes in the sky, it's easy to assume bird strike would be a low priority for the airport. But over the pandemic, Ian's job has become even more critical.
I think there's a distinct increase in crows. A fair few red kites had come. There's an increase in pigeons.
With restaurants and cafes closed by lockdowns, the lack of waste in the street means easy food sources have dwindled for urban birds. As they forage further afield for a bit of grub, quiet airfields can offer both food and safety, so vigilant ground patrols are essential to prevent birds settling and nesting.
So obviously you can see the starlings, they're just in the grass, can't really see them.
If left unchecked, growing populations could lead to a higher risk of bird strike when international travel opens fully at the airport. So Ian is authorised to bring out the big guns.
What we've got at the moment, so this is a vari pistol, cartridge, 12 gauge, and it just has a projectile in there, and that projectile will go up and then explode.
I'll be honest, they didn't seem that bothered, did they?
No. By the time I get the second one,
The problem for Ian is that these stout-hearted starlings have become impervious to his pyrotechnics. So bird management boss Sonny wants to give his #1 airside operative an artillery upgrade.
After a while, the animals on the airfield, they actually get used to the noise. So I bought something new to try out and test first.
It's a blank-firing 9mm semi-automatic Retay P24 pistol.
My concerns are it should just be more work-like, I think, as opposed to the media or advertising. People would say it's a sexy look.
It certainly wouldn't look out of place in 007's grasp. For the test, Sonny will be assessing whether the gun makes a large and distinctive enough sound to frighten their feathered foes.
Fire 2-3 bursts, right, and then stop. Okay.
While for Ian, this is just another string to his already decorated bow.
I'm quite interested in weapons. I belong to a rifle club, but it's a good discipline. It's about keeping yourself steady, calming yourself, and just trying to hit something. The films I watched as a child, I had loads of toy guns, which was just part and parcel of the 60s. Firing a hole. And they've just progressed from plastic toy ones to firing real ones in a controlled, safe manner.
In terms of the noise, well, that's good. Dispelling wildlife, very good. I reckon we can make that weapon a success.
So, with thumbs up from Airside Safety's very own Q, it's time for Heathrow's aviary agent to go into action.
And the birds won't know what hit them. But it won't be a bullet, just be noise.
While birds flying onto the airfield may be surprised by what Ian has in store for them, passengers travelling into the country may be equally surprised by what awaits them in immigration. As COVID continues to cause chaos around the world, test, trace and quarantine are part and parcel of a tight border policy. For passengers, this requires more red tape than Santa's grotto.
This is the file I've had for travelling.
And there's the queues to match.
In normal days, I used to fly through as a business class. Now I have to queue. It's not right.
Pre-pandemic, a returning Brit would take just 30 seconds to clear passport control. Today, the additional workload for Border Force officers means it's 15 minutes.
It's the process. They've got loads of checks to do. They've got the locator form, the PCR test. If it's an amber list country, they have to do a 2- and 8-day test and they have to self-isolate. They've just got a lot of documents to prove to immigration.
Good luck. Thank you.
Passenger experience manager Suki
11:15 for the non-EU, please.
is helping Border Force keep tabs on the time taken to clear the queues.
So there's 9 desks open and 138 minutes.
9 desks and 138.
Yeah.
So at the moment, we're just putting queue times in what's been measured in the immigration, just to make sure that we are in allocated times that we have.
The airport has targets for waiting times. No more than 25 minutes for EU passengers and 45 minutes for non-EU.
Unfortunately, we've breached a few times. This morning at 11:15, it was about a 90-minute queue time. Currently, the queue time is just over 2 hours.
They're a bit slow. I think
We
there
need
could
more
be
people.
more people.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to wait this long after being on a plane for 12 hours. Not in a modern airport like this.
Previously, when it was business as usual, we hardly ever breached, but because the pandemic has caused a lot of issues, breaches do happen.
Border Force officers are also required to scrutinise any passengers coming from countries that may have a new strain of the virus. This can slow the process down even further.
Let's say Germany had a new variant. If they come into England and they're from Germany, it will be a hit on their system. That means they have to come off the desk, they have to take the passenger away again and put them in a triage and then start doing paperwork. That's just an example. So it can be tricky for an agent to be dealing with all this.
And COVID checks aren't just raising queue times.
It's hot. For me, it's hot here.
The air conditioning is on, but it still gets quite hot with the amount of bodies that are about.
So Suki breaks out a 24-pack.
Anybody want some water? You want some water?
Yeah, please.
Yeah? It's water, yes. Not beer.
But for one passenger, her temperature has reached critical.
You want a screen? We've got a lady just fainted over in the E-gate section, so we're just trying to get a screen so it just blocks anyone else's view.
2, passenger experience manager Suki is heading to a traveller who has collapsed inside the immigration hall.
Sorry, can I just get past you guys? Thank you. Yeah, so paramedics have been called. So the lady fainted because she was quite hot, but I'm not sure if she's got any underlying medical issues.
Fainting usually occurs with a temporary drop in blood pressure. The brain doesn't get the blood flow it needs, leading to a loss of consciousness.
She's awake and alert. However, we've kept her on the ground just so that she's comfortable with her legs up.
Whilst fainting is a common occurrence at Heathrow, in a post-COVID world, it's more important than ever to make sure each case is evaluated by a paramedic.
Hello, madam. Do you mind if I just stand your blood pressure while you're laying pretty flat? It's okay if you're happy with that, okay?
It is roasting in here. It's always a case when there's loads of people, and because of the fact there's more checks, again, it's a slower process. So, yeah, it's a lengthy process, and unfortunately, people will be waiting a long time.
Push your through the legs through, that's it, brilliant.
With no obvious injuries, the paramedic fast-tracks the passenger through immigration.
Hope you feel better soon, okay?
Yeah. I'm okay.
All right, no dizziness, no lightheadedness?
No.
Excellent. Are you all happy to continue your journey?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay,
yes.
all right, brilliant.
I'm fine.
Thankfully, this passenger has made a swift recovery.
Man, are you okay to walk?
Because
Okay. You sure?
Yeah.
well, she's okay now. She looked pretty well, to be fair, when I initially come. It's common, yeah, across the airport, fainting, to be fair. Queues at the moment, people coming off long flights, tired, quite fatigued, probably haven't eaten. A bit of a drop in blood pressure, dizzy episodes, and end up gracefully, normally on the deck. So thankfully, no injury. She was happy to continue her journey, so we're all happy.
Today, over 50,000 travellers will arrive into the UK. Heathrow are also preparing for 30,000 departures.
Hello, what's this bag? Come to my office.
And security officer Estefania is on duty in Terminal 2, conducting bag searches.
Is this your passport, madam? Oh my God. Chu Chi Hu Chuan? Chu Chui Chuan? It's yours? I was calling you. How you pronounce your name? Chu? Jo Chun, oh my God. Okay.
Despite best efforts of Estefania and her colleagues,
oh, I like your master.
there isn't much for passengers to enjoy here. In fact, nearly half of all travelling Brits say it's the most stressful part of the journey, as they surrender their hand luggage to the scrutiny of security officers.
So is this yours?
No.
No? All right, then.
That stress no doubt increases if you find some of your belongings are on the list of restricted items.
So you forgot all your liquids inside of your bag. This is too big. This is too big, sir. Too big also.
Since 2006, liquids have been restricted to bottles under 100 ml that fit in a 20 by 20 centimetre bag.
It's hand wash.
I know, but it's liquid.
Okay.
But the definition of what is and isn't a liquid is rather fluid, including gels, sprays, pastes and creams, which may explain why skincare products, deodorant and makeup all feature in the top 10 of confiscated items at UK airports.
Oh my God, that's really.
Oh my God, that's gonna be a big tragedy. Oh my God. Are you a makeup artist?
No.
If you do fall foul of the rules, at least Estefania can help you make the most of your allowance.
Is it all going to fit?
I don't know. I'm trying my best. I'm surprised sometimes when we are searching a bag and for one person people carry makeup for 20 people. It's incredible. I have in my purse 1 or 2 lipsticks. Some people, they carry 20 lipsticks. So are you going on holidays or?
I'm going to work. I'm a model, so I'm working on an advert for yogurt. I was going to narrow it down, and then I just didn't have time, so I just brought my whole bag with me, and I put it in my hand luggage. Yeah, embarrassing mistake. I'm honestly so sorry.
You're gonna make it. No worry, I'm here, okay? We done it.
The UK has the 7th largest cosmetics market in the world, worth over £27 billion. And some can't leave a single bit of rouge or lip gloss behind when they travel.
1 bag,
So can I
2 bags of cosmetics, 3, like 4, 5.
How many bags of makeup are there in total?
There's a foundation bag, concealer bag, eyeshadow bag. There's different for each part of the faces. There's bags for each part, eyelashes. So I don't know how many in total. Could be about 7, 8 of just makeup. I don't have a makeup regime. I don't wear makeup. I just need it. It's just part of my anxiety, really. I just have it. I don't use it.
Oh, wow. So basically, you don't use the makeup,
I do.
But it helps?
No,
your
I
anxiety.
do use it, yeah. Just for special occasions, I like to have it there. And it's just a little bit of a comfort just to know I've got all my things there with me.
For anyone who isn't prepared to wave goodbye to their restricted items, they can make use of the Mail and Fly service, which will post up to 5 kilos anywhere in the world for £94.
You want to post that, yeah?
So this passenger will be making up with her makeup in a few days' time.
Right. So hand me the stuff that you want. Right, just hand it to me and I'll put it in the bag, yeah?
With 3 minutes to her flight boarding, she needs to decide what comes with her on the plane and what goes in the post.
You're allowed to take this one.
Can I add this and we'll take one?
It has to close, so just as long as it closes.
What's in the rubbish?
No. She's
sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you said it was empty.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Okay.
Everything else that fits can go inside this, yeah?
Yeah, everything else that fits, everything else can get mailed out.
Make sure you walk fast to the B gates, okay?
Run.
Let me show you the way. You're gonna
Thank
make
you so
it,
much.
yeah?
Thanks for your help, yeah?
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Right, come on.
Bye. To the right, all the way down. This is our extra mile for the day. You go home and you go happy that you help somebody to make the flight. That's all matters.
Welcome to England.
It's just those sheer numbers.
My dad's waiting outside for me. I'm going home.
No, you're not.
I'm going home.